A reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians. Because you are God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with heartfelt mercy, with kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another. Forgive whatever grievances you have against one another. Forgive as the Lord has forgiven you. Over all these virtues, put on love, which binds the rest together and makes them perfect. Christ's peace must reign in your hearts, since as members of the one body, you have been called to that peace. Dedicate yourselves to thankfulness. Let the word of Christ, rich as it is, dwell in you. In wisdom made perfect, instruct and admonish one another. Sing gratefully to God from your hearts in psalms, hymns, and inspired songs. Whatever you do, whether in speech or in action, do it in the name of the Lord Jesus. Give thanks to God the Father through him. The word of the Lord.
Good afternoon, and it is a privilege and pleasure for me to welcome all of you to this annual Founders Day celebration, and my heartfelt congratulations to all of those who are honored on this day and to our distinguished guests and family members who join us here this afternoon. Today we celebrate the life and we pay tribute to Boniface Swimmer, the founder and the first abbot of St. Vincent. The meaning of the life of this very complex man can readily be summarized in a twofold manner. First of all, Boniface Swimmer really believed that the Lord was with him at every moment of his life. And secondly, Abbot Boniface spent his entire life helping others. Learning of the hardships of immigrants in America, he wrote of being moved by deep compassion and a desire to do something to alleviate their pitiable condition. In 1846, with 18 companions, he came to America and founded a monastery and school at St. Vincent. He dedicated his life to helping the millions of immigrants from all parts of Europe seeking security for their families and relief from massive starvation. The St. Vincent community, under Wimmer's leadership and at great personal cost, established monasteries and schools all over the United States. Often he responded to those most in need, to Afro-Americans in the South, Native Americans in the Midwest, immigrants everywhere who were struggling to find a place in the new world. Through the establishment of schools and parishes of every sort, Wimmer helped struggling immigrants to overcome prejudice and religious bigotry and to become a part of the mainstream of American society. Boniface Wimmer was a man of deep faith, yet he did not go about with a judgmental attitude or a solemn face. One monk thought that St. Vincent ought to become more like a Trappist monastery and complained that the abbot was always in the kitchen where he laughs and jokes about everything. The accomplishments of Wimmer can easily be listed, and they are remarkable indeed. Yet they don't tell us much about the man. Can we get more insight into his spirit, the spirit which animated St. Vincent in its early years? Perhaps there is something in this spirit that can animate us today as we face the challenges of our own age. One thing is clear: Boniface Wimmer was not a plaster of Paris saint that you might put on a pedestal to admire. He was strong-willed and tough, often in conflict, beginning with the abbot of his own monastery, who took a dim view of his desire to to become a missionary in the wilderness of America. He had problems with church officials in Rome. Some of his own monks rebelled against him. Some wanted a stricter monastic observance. Others said that he had gone too far with missionary activities. Would you believe he even had conflicts with American bishops? The most publicized, of course, was the controversy over the St. Vincent Brewery in the midst of the temperance movement. Yet one senses that most of those with whom he disagreed must have realized that Wimmer was not on an ego trip. Despite the rough edges, they seemed to realize that this tough character was a man of God and a man of the common people. Reporting on his achievements shortly after his death on December 8, 1887, the New York Herald commented, "His acts of kindness and charity extended to all classes and conditions of society, and there is scarcely a poor family in all the region about the monastery that at some time or another had not been the recipient of his generosity." That Wimmer was a strong individual, there can be no doubt. His long beard caused something of a sensation among the clean-shaven cardinals when he visited the Vatican in 1865. People gawked at him in the street. The nuns at a convent he visited apparently were frightened by his shaggy appearance. However, his audacity in doing things a little differently did not seem to upset the Pope. After being named lifetime abbot of St. Vincent, he was dismissed from the presence of Pope Pius IX with these words, "Long live Abbot Wimmer and his magnificent beard." There is no doubt that he knew how to make things happen. Most of you know the story well. From the monastery and school he established here at St. Vincent in 1846, his work spread to Minnesota in the 1850s, and then to Kansas, where that territory was bathed in the blood of an undeclared war over slavery, a prelude to the Civil War which took the lives of 1 million men. Soon monks from St. Vincent were laboring in New Jersey, Kentucky, Virginia, Texas, Tennessee, Nebraska, Alabama, Florida, and Colorado. They brought the word of God and his works of charity to German and Polish, Pole and Slovak, African American, Indian, and white. In 1887, Sadlier's Catholic Directory would say of Abbot Boniface Wimmer's Benedictines, "Nothing in the growth of this church in this country exceeds the wonderful development of this community." And so today we pause to remember our past with all its blessings, and we express our gratitude to God. Our responsibility, however, is not to the past. We can do nothing to change that. Our responsibility is to meet the challenge of the present and to prepare for the future. Let me conclude my talk by offering 3 quotes which may help to meet the unique challenges of our time with the spirit of Boniface Wimmer. First, from Pope Francis. He writes, "One of the most serious temptations which stifles boldness and zeal is a defeatism that turns us into querulous and disillusioned pessimists. Nobody can go into battle unless he is really convinced of victory beforehand. If we start without confidence, we have already lost half the battle and we bury our talents. While painfully aware of our own frailties, we have to march on without giving in, keeping in mind what the Lord said to St. Paul, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect and weakness. And then our own Abbot Boniface Wimmer, forward, always forward, everywhere forward. We cannot be held back by debts, by the difficulties of the times, by unfortunate years. Man's adversity is God's opportunity. And last but not least, from St. Paul, God did not give us a spirit of cowardice, but rather of power and love and self-control. I have nothing to add to these quotes but to say amen, and to ask the Lord to bless us with a bolder trust of his loving presence in our lives today. Thank you.
If you're following in your program, you see the first award has a funny name, Projektenmacher. It's kind of a strange sounding German word, which was actually used by Boniface Wimmer's confreres in Bavaria with a pejorative or negative meaning. They saw him as a dreamer, an unrealistic idealist who was always talking about going to America and doing great things. You've heard from our Archabbot that at the end of Wimmer's life, there were a number of remarkable achievements, and the word Projektenmacher took on a more literal meaning. Project maker, someone who has the capacity to get things done, to realize visions, to enlist the support and collaboration of fellow monks and lay colleagues. So today, we recognize a member of our community who is following in Wimmer's footsteps. As Wimmer was concerned about the education of immigrants and those most in need, and created schools to serve them, so Nancy Rottler has directed and expanded our opportunity program to assist not only first-generation students at St. Vincent, who typically have numbered 40% in our incoming class, but also those students who have experienced any kind of academic and, in many cases, personal challenges. She has done this not as an administrator disconnected from students, but incredibly involved with the personal commitment as mentor, confidant, advocate, motivator. She has found partners in her staff, also among grateful alumni, former students who had worked with Nancy, who are willing to support and encourage current students. She works with the resources at hand, but relentlessly seeks out more funding, doing dogged work in grant writing. Nancy lives her motto, or equation: students plus service equals success. So today, we recognize Dr. Nancy Rottler, our 2016 Projektenmacher.
Thank you, Brother Norman, Archabbot Douglas, and Father Paul for serving as wonderful Benedictine role models throughout my career here at St. Vincent. Thank you to Dr. Smetanka and Dean Kaler and all the individuals involved with the nomination process. I am extremely honored and humbled to receive the Projektenmacher Award. While I feel truly blessed and honored to have my name on the award, I believe this award was earned by the entire Opportunity staff, who worked tirelessly to challenge and support our students along the academic journey. It is for our students, staff, and our colleagues that we do our good work. It is for all of our friends, our Opportunity friends, including my own family. Students plus service equals success. The motto of the Opportunity Program is something that the department fully embraces. The Opportunity staff shares the passion to help students make each day an opportunity to learn, to challenge, and to grow. Most importantly, we help the students to embrace the Benedictine hallmarks of our community. I wish to share a special thank you to Peggy Smith, who has worked by my side for 14 of my 15 years with the program, and with the entire staff. The continued dedication and devotion of the entire Opportunity staff make the difference in the success of our students. Through serving our students, I have many occasions to collaborate with faculty, administrators, and staff. We, together, share the desire to develop the intellect of our students and to nurture positive success. So to all my faculty, administrator, and staff colleagues, thank you for the commitment to our Opportunity Program. I share this distinction not only with my colleagues, but I wish to recognize my students and our graduates, many of whom have already started to serve as alumni mentors for the program and are here today. Each day, you challenge me and provide me with endless occasions to channel positive energy, support your endeavors, and celebrate your accomplishments. You've accepted challenges and persevered to the many opportunities presented to you in a successful way. Your success motivates me and inspires me. Father Earl Henry, I never imagined that meeting a Benedictine monk as an 18-year-old freshman at Penn State University would have had such a profound effect on my life. Nearly 24 years ago, you invited me to join your staff at St. Vincent, and with your gentle heart and compassion, you challenged me and shaped me to follow your example. You introduced me to many Benedictine traditions, which I strive to practice today as a disciplined steward of the Opportunity Program. Father Earl, you are my mentor and friend. Thank you. Last but not least, I'd like to recognize my family. Thank you to my mother, Mary Lou, who's here today, my brother, Marty, my sister-in-law, Tammy, my nieces, Meredith and Casey, and Dennis. You've always provided me with encouragement, love, and support, and I thank you. A special thanks to my parents, my father in heaven, my mom here today. I've been blessed to be your daughter and realize that we share the greatest love of all. I hope you know the impact you've had on my life is immeasurable. Your example has taught me to love and care for others, traits that are especially important in my work. Students, this is an exciting time for you, especially the seniors just months away from graduation. As Mr. Rogers stated, all of us at some time or another need help. Whether we're giving or receiving help, each one of us has something valuable to bring to this world. That's one of the things that connects us as neighbors. As you transition from St. Vincent College to make your mark, recall your hard-earned education. Cherish the value you bring to the world and share your gifts with others. Look out for your neighbors. You'll never know how your contributions may make a difference. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Nancy. The Thoburn Excellence in Teaching Award was created and endowed by one of the area's premier educators and philanthropists, the late Dr. Tina Thoburn and her husband Thomas. Nominations for this award are made by St. Vincent College alumni 5 to 7 years after graduation. Alumni are invited to name one member of the faculty who made a significant impact on them through their teaching and personal interactions. This year, 70 nominations were received for 31 different faculty. This is a clear indication of the long-lasting effect that our faculty have on our students. This year, the prestigious Thoburn Award recognizes the talents and contributions of Mark Abramovic, instructor of finance, founder, and director of the Benedictine Leadership Studies program. I ask Professor Abramovic to please come forward. Professor Abramovic earned a bachelor's degree in accounting from Penn State University and a master's of business administration from the University of Pittsburgh. He served as a senior level business executive for over 20 years, specializing in finance, mergers and acquisitions, strategic planning, business development, information technology, and operations. He has held leadership positions with the titles of Vice President, Chief Financial Officer, and Chief Operating Officer for New York Stock Exchange listed companies in the energy sector. We are truly blessed that Professor Abramovic chose to share his experience and expertise to our students. This blessing is recognized by his students, past and present. Here are some reflections that recent alumni shared regarding Professor Abramovic. Professor Abramovic is an outstanding teacher because he uses real-world examples. He reaches out to alumni after graduation. He is always available and does a great deal for the entire St. Vincent community. Another of Professor Abramovic's former students wrote, "He gives a true take on the material and provides insight that allows students to understand and then apply theoretical concepts to actual situations." Finally, a current student recently shared, "Professor Abramovic's ability to communicate his experiences regarding the interaction of traditional accounting, corporate leadership, and lean management are priceless. Discussions in his courses were fun and thought-provoking, which enhanced learning and ignited my interest." Professor Abramovic, in recognition for your extraordinary generosity in sharing your experiences to train the next generation of business professionals, for your dedication to teaching and learning, and for pioneering leadership studies at St. Vincent College, it is my pleasure to present to you the 2016 Thoburn Excellence in Teaching Award.
Well, this is a wow moment, or when things are really good, sometimes they're wowie wow moments. And this may be one of those. Just some thank yous to get started. I wanted to thank Archabbot Douglas, Brother Norman, Dr. Smetanka. They keep inviting me back to teach more courses each year, and I promise one of these years I'm going to get it right. I want to make a special thank you to Dr. Gary Quinlivan. Over 10 years ago, Dr. Quinlivan gave me the encouragement to teach a course, see what I thought, and it seemed to be working out okay. I also want to thank my wife, Romaine, who's always been supportive of all of the journeys that we've been on, and sometimes the journeys are a little too exciting for all of us. Most of all, I want to thank current and prior students, because you're why I'm here. You motivate and energize me to do better in the classroom, and it feels so rewarding to watch you develop. From the time you come in as a freshman to the time I meet you, oftentimes when you're juniors and seniors, the difference is staggering. Your maturity level has increased significantly. Your self-confidence has grown enormously. Oftentimes I see you after you've graduated and you move into that first entry-level job. Some of you are doing that right now. And then I get an opportunity to see you 5 or 6 years later. Oftentimes you're back on campus, you're working on committees, you're in an association back here, you're mentoring, sometimes you're actually recruiting some of the seniors that are graduating, and again, the growth is enormous. You start to show your early leadership skills with your job, you're starting to show leadership skills in your communities, and you're oftentimes showing leadership skills within your family. Awards like the Thoburn Award also remind us that students whom we teach and coach and offer guidance to really do appreciate what we do. And as one of the credit card companies states in its commercial, that's priceless. That is one tasty pellet that keeps us motivated. And when we get to do all of this at St. Vincent College, it's even all the better. This is an incredibly special place. When I was in my late 20s, I had a boss named Bob Kopp. Bob was a New York native, born and raised in Manhattan. He was a World War II fighter pilot. He was miserable in his job, and he had just been transferred from New York to Pittsburgh. And if you're a New York native and you've been transferred to Pittsburgh in the late 1970s and early 1980s, that was considered the backwater of civilization in those days. I never saw Bob smile except when he talked about fishing or when he went fishing. And so every once in a while he dragged me along. And I am not a fisherman, don't care to be a fisherman, but he would always get me out and do some fishing. And for fishing, it was very specific for Bob. It needed to be in a big boat. It needed to be in salt water. And the boat cooler needed to be filled with beer. Bob loved to use the phrase, "still water runs deep." He was trying to teach me that in deep water there were specific kinds of fish that I should be trying to catch. I quickly learned that that phrase had nothing to do with fishing, because when the fish weren't biting and Bob was drinking more beer, he would get a little more philosophical about the still water phrase. And he would talk about people who lacked substance, but they had a quick, good first impression. Then he also talked about people that you could rely on. I call it in the darkness of night. Who's going to get this stuff done for you? And sometimes they're not very noticeable. Sometimes we don't pay attention to them. My mind really liked that phrase, and it has stuck with me my whole life. Interestingly, my professional life in the energy industry was mostly spent in the Whitewater Rapids with shallow people and rocks causing a lot of problems. When it came to St. Vincent, though, I quickly noticed that people were really very different here. They were thoughtful, they were caring, they were trustworthy, and they possessed a strong sense of personal value. As time passed and I learned more about St. Vincent, I realized that it was the entire St. Vincent community that was thoughtful, caring, trustworthy, and the institution itself had strong values. The culture that we live in here is based on the rule of St. Benedict and our Benedictine hallmarks. And the people that this culture attracts, the monks, the faculty, the staff, the students, the friends of the college, are in my mind the ultimate pool of still water. The culture's loving, it's humble, it's stable, has a strong sense of community and hospitality. As native Bearcats by education, you the students, or adopted Bearcats through hiring, people like me, we need to do our best to continue to find new, creative ways to nurture and preserve this rare gem that we have. I am proud to come here every day and dip my toes in these still waters. Thank you.
Alice J. Kaler, Dean of Studies, will present the awards for Who's Who among students in American colleges and universities. Dr. Stephen Gravel, President of Faculty Council, represents the faculty on the platform and will greet each of the honorees.
Today we honor 66 of our students for their outstanding academic achievements, their leadership in both co-curricular and extracurricular activities, and their service to our St. Vincent community. We offer congratulations to each of you and thank you for all you do. We also wish to extend our congratulations to the families of our Who's Who recipients and say that we are happy for your presence here today. I ask the Who's Who students to please come forward to receive your certificates as your names are called. Nicholas R. Anderson. Jalen H. Bell. Adam R. Berg. Connor M. Chesky. Kayla L. Conrad. Jordan B. Conville. Elena M. Deloso. Nicole M. Delbany. Silver L. Dorsa. Christina R. Dowds. Cheyenne L. Dunbar. Haley A. Easter. Samantha M. Emmerich. Samantha M. Firestone. Allison K. Fry. Hannah M. Galvin. Krista N. Gibbon. Rachel V. Glatt. Lucas A. Good. Morgan E. Braun. Cleona D. Helton. Anna M. Hillman. Tuduk Ho. Melanie J. Hurlbert. Jennifer S. I. Caruso. Lisa J. I. Caruso. Michael C. Illig. Claire C. Jackman. Courtney J. Call. Ryan M. Carl. Kelsey E. Kidner. Zachary A. Kosak. Caitlin E. Krasinski. Lawrence H. Kunkel. Alexandra G. LaHood. Esther S. Love. Julia V. Lundy. Emily A. Makowick. Chifuga Mashambe. Carly S. Mazzoni. Margaret C. Miller. Nathaniel P. Nemick. Michaela A. Nolfi. Justin J. Overly. Marissa L. Pecora. Shelby P. Porba. And Mr. Peter S. Reiter. Anna C. Rifalato. Rebecca M. Brasgani. Alexander D. Schwartz. Jonathan M. Schaefer. Brenton C. Sig. Mariah N. Singerman. Joan M. Smith. Mara N. Snyder. Linnea M. Stager. Abigail L. Stahl. Michael R. Thomas. Marla G. Turk. Haley M. Umbach. Mary Vandenberg. Joshua R. Vasco. Lacey M. Werner. Christina M. Wetzel. Kiana L. Williams-Pate. Mary J. Yeckley. Congratulations to you all. Thank you.
mindful of God's blessings on St. Vincent and mindful of the hearts formed by the spirit of St. Benedict and the vision of Abbot Boniface Swimmer to serve the people of God, let us together call upon God with heartfelt praise and joyful thanksgiving.